What is this, Lady Ada?
This is a sparkling star field of a show and tell.
Burning Man might be canceled. It's virtual this year, but that doesn't mean we can't start the party now.
Get your goggles and your mask.
Yeah.
And your drugs. Okay, so we are doing show and tell.
That's right.
For 1 full hour. So if you were like, wow, I never had time to show off my project, and show and tell is only 25 minutes, now it's 55 minutes.
Some of you out there are working from home and you're staying safe and keeping everyone else safe. Some of you are essential workers, and thank you. You're going in, you're taking care of business, you're being safe.
Good.
But everyone makes something and everyone shares something, and that's what this hour is about. If you make something, if you share something, if you work at a company and you're doing something, whatever it is, come on by every single week, 7 p.m. Eastern time, and then we have Ask an Engineer at 8. We've been doing show and tell for about a decade. It used to be 7:30. Now it's 7 to 8 until further notice. Until further notice.
If you want to know until when, ask Dr. Fauci.
Yeah. So first up, I would like to bring
the Digit-Key check-in.
Kevin from Digit-Key. Hey, Kevin.
Hey guys. How you guys doing?
Good. How you doing tonight?
I like how you have like the Digit-Key simulator, so it's like you just think you're always a Digit-Key because it's just covered with Digit-Key.
Yeah, we have a small little piece here. Thank you to the Minnesotan team who sent out some of these Digit-Key things for us.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just trying to make a makeshift office in my basement. I took old Maker Faire banners that we used at shows. So it works out pretty good in an unfinished basement.
It looks like a Zoom background.
All right. So what's going on this week?
So we have, a lot of stuff going on. We are shipping parts like crazy, which is really good for us and really good for everyone else. Of course, we started with some of the Adafruit buy on Digit-Key buttons on your website, which you guys have been talking about. That's great.
Yep.
A couple things I want to share. Let me share my screen here.
Okay.
So our engineering team, trying to find ways to clean our warehouse, they purchased some, like Clorox company type of fumigators that can go around and sanitize everything. Very hard to find. So they reverse engineered one and made a few. Yeah. And this is just kind of an image of the inside of it, the compressor and all the details. We're still trying to work through some of the details so we can share how we did it. But I just wanted to share a picture of that because that's really cool. And if you guys are worried about your parts coming out of Digit-Key not sterilized, well, we have a fix for that too. We took our conveyor belt and wrapped it in steel and have a UV light tunnel that every tote goes through. Not every, I shouldn't say every, like 80% of our totes will go through this UV light. So our totes are consistently being cleaned, which is also very cool.
I will say that, the Digit-Key packaging, it is very Clorox wipe resistant, so you can wipe it very easily before you open up the
conducive. It wants to be wiped down.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's even shinier.
And one thing,
I love how you just reach off the screen and you happen to have a Digit-Key package in your hand.
Yes, always.
That was not planned, by the way.
No. But one thing that was planned, and I want to thank the Digit-Key team. So the Adafruit team and the Digit-Key team, we're sharing information about how some of the sanitation things we're doing. So we also cannot get one of the Clorox giant fogger things because it's like 8 years on back order now. So we're also making our own. We're doing a smaller scale. We have 60,000 square feet. I think Digit-Key has like 6 billion square feet. And so it's really neat to do some information sharing and also sharing some of the protocols because there's people that are like, Lady Ada and I are at Adafruit just about every day, and we have specific protocols to keep our team safe, to keep us safe. And this collaboration that you're seeing across multiple companies and multiple partners, especially in the maker world, is great. So hug report to your entire team at Digit-Key, who are not only keeping your team safe, but we have, I think, what's the thing that's happening, like the Western Pack and the Eastern Pack?
This is the Midwest Pack.
Well, I think there's it's like the Maker Pack.
Pack.
The engineering pack where we're all like, we can engineer solutions together and we can share that information. And a lot of the parts are available on Adafruit. A lot of them are available on Digit-Key. So thank you, Kevin and team, for that.
Yeah, thank you. And, that's a good segue. One thing I was kind of thinking about what I want to show on Show and Tell today. And, besides making the Statue of Liberty light up behind me, her torch, I don't know if you can see it, but her torch is lit up. Yeah. Turn the light off.
Ooh, that's nice.
So my kids helped me make that. It was kind of a fun project. But I'm sitting here thinking, what is something that I could create for my workspace that is just kind of a longer project that ends up being really cool? So I'm going to change my camera really quick.
That's the hardest part, sanitizing products.
So don't mind my like extremely messy makeshift office down here. I have a wall made out of pallets, but I want to take this desk and I want some help from the maker community, the Adafruit community, Digit-Key community. I want to make this tabletop really awesome. And I want some help from everybody out there. If you had Digit-Key as in your basement, the candy store of Digit-Key in your basement, which I kind of do, it's just across town, what would you do to this desk? I want to kind of make a little contest out of it, not a project, and eventually maybe add people that help add their signatures to it or add their logos. Shoot me a note on Twitter, on Discord, on the Adafruit channel, Digit-Key channel. We'll all be watching it. What would you do if this was your desk and you had electronics to make it amazing? And just to add to it, it is on top of a Craftsman toolbox, so it's pretty cool, pretty makery.
All right.
All right, sweet update, Kevin.
All right. Thank you so much, Kevin. And once again, please send our regards to your team. Thank you, Digit-Key, for all the help that they're providing to Adafruit right now. Okay.
All right,
I
sweet.
absolutely will. Thanks, guys. Take care.
We got some comments saying Digit-Key packaging is great for cats. So you bored at home with cats? Digit-Key packaging.
That's right.
Entertaining.
Okay, next up, let's go to Melissa. Hello, Melissa. How are you? Oops. Erin was there.
There's Erin.
Snuck in. Okay.
Kevin, that's why.
Yay. How's it going, Melissa?
It's going good. So I am stuck at home, and I did not have a mask, and it was kind of hard to find one because all the stores are out of them. And so I decided I was going to make one with stuff I had around the house here. So I found a design, and I 3D printed it for this mask here, and it uses a cutout for a vacuum cleaner HEPA filter. So it has the 99.9% particle filtering. And then in order to get a better seal around the mouth, I took some the insulation off some Romex house wiring. And I was thinking it wouldn't be soft enough, but it was. And I used some hot glue as well in order to get it to stick onto here. And then I had some elastic in my sewing kit and was able to get a mask that has a really good seal.
All right, cool.
And because it's vacuum cleaner filters, I can actually just replace them as I need it to.
It would look really great with some LEDs. Not saying you have to add LEDs, but it has that little like stained glass look to it, maybe.
That's a good idea. I like that. Need some electronics on it.
Yeah, Geek Mom Projects had a
circuit playground.
The circuit playground that did, and I saw Toddbot had this like Bluetooth one. So we're all going to be wearing these. I think every day there's another announcement from another state or another city. So that creativity, that's valuable real estate on our face. We could do so many things with this. We're makers, we're engineers, we're scientists. We make LEDs. We do all this stuff. So I can't wait to see what you make next.
All right, thanks, Melissa.
Yeah,
Safe.
thank you.
All right.
Same filter. All right, next up, Kattni. Who's the next box on the list
All
of
right,
boxes?
Kattni, hello.
Hello.
So,
Here,
a while ago.
Hi, Erin. I'll see you later.
Bye.
Yeah.
Erin is like,
Erin's just like, I'm just kidding. Yeah, StreamYard really likes Erin.
It likes to click buttons. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's everybody.
Sorry,
Okay,
but it's all about Kattni.
So when I did my first guide, I had to do photos for it. And when I wanted to do photos, I needed to do them properly. My standards for photography are very high. So I built a tabletop lightbox photo studio that's running .star LEDs. This is one of the panels. There are 3 of these, one on each side and one on the top. And they're wired entirely in series. Initially, there was only the one outside strip, but I wanted more light, so I added another one on the inside. And the original design was running off of a Raspberry Pi that I had sitting around, which has 2 button shims on it that I never ended up doing anything with, and the on-off shim as well. And it's wired directly to it. I also didn't know that .stars needed a level shifter because they worked without it.
They sometimes do.
I never knew until some discussion with you 2 years later.
Because then you're like, one day you're like, oh no, my power supply is a little bit better, and then they don't work, and then you're like, why?
Right. So I'm going to share my screen here. And what I have on my other camera is the prototype for the CircuitPython version, because the original version runs Python, but I was not running CircuitPython on the Raspberry Pi because we didn't have that at the time. And because I didn't want to solder up a level shifter to a Feather and/or a Feather Proto, I'm using a NeoPixel 8 as SPI connector, basically. It works great. And it makes for a very tiny build. This is the prototype, and it has a very melty ground wire on it. That's what happens when you plug the ground wire into the power and then plug it into a 5-volt 10 amp power supply and wait until it starts smoking.
Wow, you learned a lot.
I did.
You made a fuse.
Pretty much. So the real build is going to be this.
Ooh.
And the connector's not, this isn't soldered onto it yet, but these two are soldered up. And I had to take the JST connector for the battery and the SWD connector for the J-Link off of the Feather to make it flat enough to actually be compact. So I did that. And then this is a normal header soldered through the wrong way and put into the Feather short headers, and ta-da. So what I have is not the light panels, but I have a strip of dot stars here. And one of the things about dot stars is if you're running, you can run them on any pin combination, but if it's not a hardware SPI combination, they're very slow. And so I wrote a script a while ago to find SPI pins, and turns out every pin is an SPI pin, any combination on a Feather NRF, or at least it seems like it. It was the longest list I've ever seen.
NRF is a weird, it's got a crossbar. It means any pin can be used for any purpose.
Gotcha.
It's an unusual and expensive and fancy thing. So not all chips do it because it's more expensive.
And I just lost my ground connection here, so I'm not going to be able to get it to power. Actually, we can try and power it off of USB.
We're just checking it out.
I managed to blow everything into safe mode earlier. So this is running slicing code, an example, and it is very, very fast.
Yay!
So the plan is to write code that works with, because the two strips are warm and cool. And the inside strip is higher density. So the plan is to write code that actually deals with the fact that there's two different densities of LEDs, and changes the brightness to be able to have 50% of each, and control them each separately and then control them all together. And that is what I plan to do to run it in CircuitPython. And that is my project.
Amazing.
Right on.
A rebuild.
All right.
Rerun.
Thank you so much, Kattni.
Mm-hmm. Kattni, always getting the good photos.
All right. Next up, everyone wants to see Erin.
I've been waiting. You've been teasing.
Everyone wants to see Erin.
Okay.
Erin, how's it going?
Hi, Erin. For real this time.
How you doing?
What are you up to? Oh, we can't hear you.
We can't hear you, but we can.
But we see your beautiful mask.
Yeah. I think you're.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So the first thing I want to show off is my mask. I've been making a ton of masks. I actually I've been making them for all my family members, and my aunt is in a nursing home, so making a bunch for the people who run the nursing home as well, and sending those out, and just having a lot of fun using all the old fabric scraps from my closet.
That's exactly why we still have so many fabric scraps. That's why we collected so many.
Turns out there's a reason.
Yeah.
Like I never threw anything away, and it's great. So I also use this little 3D printed mask adjuster strap that somebody posted.
Yep.
It's just really cool. You just hook it through, and then it can go around the back of your head, and then it's adjustable. You don't have to sit on your ears, which is it's kind of a nice way to.
Yeah, we've been tossing those into we're working with some doctors and nurses, and when we send them some face shields, we've been tossing those in. They seem to really like those as well.
Yeah, they're pretty. Although it gets caught in my hair, so I don't know if I have to wear the mask for a long period of time. I'll probably use it. But what I want to show off today is my Easter project. So I don't know. You want to share my screen there?
Yeah.
So I had a crafting night with my girlfriends via Zoom, and we all made Easter eggs, which was really pretty fun. And of course, because I'm crazy like that, I had to make all mine light up. So I made some little bases out of, this is actually just made out of a Dixie cup. And I just cut a little hole in it and put it over these little NeoPixel dots, hooked up to a circuit playground just with a bolt-on kit right there. And then I can put the eggs on top, and it really is, I mean, it's kind of, they're stunning. They're suddenly not just Easter eggs anymore. They're like art. So I'm having a really great time just playing around with this. And I made a tutorial, which is really simple. And it was kind of fun because it just shows how to pick, you know, each color for each different egg. So if you have 3 kids that made eggs and they want to light theirs up, you know, you can do coding problem with them, and you know, whoever wants their blue egg can make their egg blue, and all the different colors, which is, it's just kind of a fun little family project. I don't know. I had way too much fun doing it. I also discovered that crafting nights on Zoom are fantastic if all your friends are really crafty people, because like the problem with a normal crafting night is that you don't have all your supplies. But when you're having a crafting night on Zoom, like you have all your supplies and so do all your girlfriends, which is great because then you can just go crazy in your space. But still,
you don't have to lend out your scissors. You don't have to worry about people running off with your stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, clearly a lot of things. I mean, you know, as we get through this together, there's going to be a lot of things we're never going to want to do again. And then there's going to be some really good things that we're going to keep. And I think that's one of the things, since we've been doing show and tell and ask an engineer, it's very hard for us to go to a conference and bring everything and do workshops. And so we wanted to have, you know, some type of digital experience for people. And now everyone is starting to do that. Everyone has their own Ask an Engineer, their own show and tell, their own craft night. So that's really cool. We have your videos that we're going to show tonight on Ask an Engineer as well, that you put together for the eggs, and then for the I think you did a Tinkercad tutorial as well.
Yeah, there's a 3D printed base right here. So I made a little base out of the with a 3D printer, just real quick in Tinkercad. It took me 5 minutes. So I did a little tutorial about how I did that as well.
Yeah. I'm hoping that some of the, you know, the companies that you normally associate with crafting start to do live broadcast during this time. Like we have a Cricut, one of the, you know, cutters here. I'd love to, like, I don't have any hobbies or anything besides what we're doing with Adafruit right now. Or I will try to get back to that eventually, but that'd be kind of cool to like tune into some of these tool makers and some of these companies that they normally have in-person events. It'd be cool to broadcast or to, you know, invite people to like a Zoom or something like that.
It's a lot of fun. I used my Cricut to make the little iron-on Adafruit logo for my masks. So.
Oh yeah.
Glittery.
There he is. There he is.
All right.
I think we can know who's is whose.
Thank you so much, Erin.
All right, thanks, Erin.
Thank you.
I'm sure I'm going to accidentally add you to this stream like 10 times, so I'll see you in a minute.
Bye.
All right, Anne. Hello, Anne. What you got going on this week?
Hi, guys. Well, this is more of a retro one. I dug into my workshop and I found a project I did for myself in high school. I won't say the date, but these Radio Shack books are...
Those are great.
Yeah, they're around, they were made in about 1977. You know, it says
$1.25.
It's a good value then. It's a good value now.
Good deal.
So they have all kinds of projects in them. And what I did was I wanted to, you know, just like what we do in Adafruit, is take a project and make it my own. So this is the circuit for a single digit counter. It uses a 555 chip on the other side here, and it goes through a counter chip and then a display chip. And so, you know, having it count from 0 to 9 wasn't overly thrilling. So I made a project where it counts from 0 to 1,000. It uses 3 digits, and
wait, was this
fun. You can change the speed of the counter on the 555, and
I don't know.
Sorry.
GP like totally synthed out on you.
Oh, I know how that happened. Oh, I know what happened. So just a little side note. So we're allowing other team members to run the show and tells. So they have
JP just hijacked.
So JP's like, I really want to show up my synth project.
He totally max headroom you.
Okay.
Sorry.
Back to you, Anne.
Please continue.
I was like, wow, Anne's like into synth.
I
Like,
think
that's
I was
cool. That's a cool
wiring
thing.
is all like kind of spaghetti-ish. It uses old Archer circuit board and all the chips, And these heavy-duty cases that
Those are great.
Radio Shack used to make, and then filing and making all the holes. The power supply is a classic Radio Shack variable power supply, so that adds to the vintage stuff. So I've got all these vintage books and projects, and I may go through them and play with them a little bit more.
That's great quarantine projects. It's just like, you don't need any special tools. Just need some 74 logic. Digit-Key's going to definitely have that in stock. You don't have to worry about supply chain for that.
Every piece here definitely is Digit-Key available because, it's 19XX technology.
But classified information.
What's cool is there, a lot of this stuff was all the way back to like Radio Row in New York City, where there was a lot of electronic companies founded, and Adafruit is still located in one of the places where they used to do electronics, from Westinghouse to, I think Arrow had its start.
Arrow was there,
Yeah.
and I think even Avnet, and like every radio company.
Full circle.
Definitely, and this just feeds my working with Adafruit and doing the projects, just feeds that passion I had of going to Radio Shack and getting tutorials, basically hard tutorials, and then making them my own.
Yeah.
So
the dog is just like, why are you not paying attention to me?
That's a doggo friend.
The dog wants the attention.
Well, thanks so much, Anne.
All right, thanks, Anne, and doggy friend.
All right. One little side note: folks can search for this. One of the former CEOs of Radio Shack is now a doctor and treating COVID patients, which is really neat. Anyways,
free batteries with
every animation. Yeah. All right, Scott, how's it going?
It's going well.
What you got going on this week?
A couple things going on. First, what the screen is Lemore got a capture of the USB traffic from one of the Fever screen cameras that you have there.
That's right.
And it has a proprietary Windows app that is a Windows app. As somebody who doesn't run Windows. So you two had the idea of coming up with a custom, debugging their protocol, reverse engineering it, and then adding an app, an open source app that people could use to interface with the camera.
Yeah, we did this for the Kinect. So it's like, wow, we did this 10 years ago. We're going to do this again.
Not our first rodeo.
Right. So
yeah, I have one here.
I got the dump, and the goal was to figure out what the image format was. So I took the dump, I exported it as a CSV, and I wrote a quick Python script. I'm just calling process here, and you can't see that it popped up. But it's not too complicated, and basically picks out the image frames. So here is a BMP that I made, and it was a good thing to make sure that like the colors were right and the gradients and stuff, because I also made an animated GIF of the thing, and a wild lady appeared in the GIF.
Yeah, like right now. So folks can see this live. This is one of the longer distance Fever scanners. It has USB-C out. And what Scott's showing is, kind of what's on the screen right now. We know that there's other data coming out here. We were not interested in using a proprietary app and not knowing what it's doing. So we're basically reverse engineering it so we can get the same information out and do what we want, like send an email or tweet or, let someone know in Slack.
Yeah, totally. So I was helping with that. I think I'm going to take a look for the other data, and then I'll hand it off to Lemore to take it home. And then the other thing I've been working on, and I can hold it up.
Oh, let me get rid of your screen here. Boop.
So this is one of the Saula dev boards for the ESP32S2, and Lemore was kind enough to send me one of her two that she got. It's a little weird in that the native USB, I just have hooked up to dongle. But I did a stream on Friday, just getting the tiny USB support going on this. TAC and Ivan and Sprite TM and PyGrew and CR1901 have all been working on that. And it looks like it's working really well now. So it's my turn to take USB, build on tiny USB, and build on top of it for CircuitPython. So I think I'll stream on Friday afternoon. So keep an eye out for that on Adafruit's YouTube and other streaming channels. basically, I may do a little work on tomorrow on it, but we'll basically be starting to hook the IDF, the like vendor library that the Espressif folks provide, trying to hook that into CircuitPython is what we'll take a look at on Friday.
Right on. And I think it's okay to mention, because I think it's now penciled in, there's going to be a special hack chat with Scott and Lady Ada talking about the ESP32 on Hackaday.
So we have a date. We got to figure
out. Yeah, like, how much do you want me to do this USB stuff, and how much can I actually learn the ESP so that I can talk about it on the 6th?
Yeah.
So we'll see everybody then, and stay tuned. This is exciting because it's a whole new chip and a whole new platform, and now we can do so much with CircuitPython.
Well, CircuitPython, Wi-Fi, IoT projects are going to start really. I mean, we have the Metro Wi-Fi and people using it, but I think once it's in one chip, it unlocks wearable projects, Circuit Playground, Wi-Fi, all sorts of stuff.
And for the folks who missed Lady Ada's show that she has, Desk of Lady Ada, we did one the other night.
You mean the show where she took 20 minutes to do what it took me to do in an hour?
Only because I had practiced beforehand for an hour.
And also,
believe me, setting it up on Windows.
And also, we were at the factory, and we were kind of tired, but I was really motivated to get it going because it was a year since we did the previous one, and we did Desk of Lady Ada. And while Lamore was showing the ESP32S2 on Digit-Key, someone went in live and bought 500. Right on the spot while it was in our cart.
I know.
And so good news, bad news. Good news is that's excellent because someone, oh, cool, this is the part I want. This is something I need. I'm going to go do that right there. Bad news is you only can.
I was hoping they actually haven't been stocked because it took so much effort to get these samples. I was like, there's no way Digit-Key's going to have modules ready to buy, and they're like, they actually had 600 in stock. And
so if you want to see our delight, surprise, and then you can watch that on Desk of Lady Ada.
Yeah, and if people are interested, Unexpected Maker has been doing some streams around it and has been helpful, dropped in the chat when I was streaming. So take a look at that. He's working on a feather for it,
cool,
which is cool. And then shout out to Digit-Key. I got an order today for dip sockets for the piano keyboard stuff that I've been doing.
Oh, good.
Nice.
All right, thanks so much, Scott.
Thank you.
Thanks, Scott.
All right, paint your dragon.
All right, bring in the pixels.
What dragons are you painting this week?
Hi. Oh, I was trying to get groceries delivered, but let me switch cameras.
Dragons love groceries, right?
Well, eating is good, Here we go. Anyway, focus you. We've done like 60 billion light painting projects, but things just keep getting easier and better with CircuitPython. So I have been working on something for the clue. We've done something like with the Halloween and whatnot, but you have to go into the code and change your file names and your speed and stuff. And it's like we have enough oomph now. So I put a little menu into this one, so you can adjust all the light painting settings without having to connect USB and edit code. So it's a work in progress, and if it works good, I'll see if I can get dithering or interpolation or anything cool. But
I've tasked Phil B to try, because the reason I thought the clue would be good is the NRF52840 has a ridiculous amount of RAM in it.
Yeah,
I really like about this chip. It has 256K of RAM, which is more RAM than anyone would ever need. I mean, even Bill Gates said we only need 64K. Yeah. So this is 4 times as much. But if you're doing this kind of painting, one of the things you kind of have to do is you have to expand each line into the dot star data.
The line from the image.
It's like a scan line thing. So it's if you have a ton of RAM, you could put the entire image in dot star format in RAM, and I think we can do that. I think we have the memory. We'll see.
Right. We've done that like on the Pi, but there you've got megabytes to play with. So
I know, but this
is ground here. But
I'll try.
We were able to do interpolation and dithering in the past, so we can probably get partway there with this. So that's what's going on here.
Yes.
Okay. Right on. Thank you so much, Phil B.
You bet.
Okay, cool.
All right. Next up, we're gonna go to Jepler.
Jepler.
Check out on Jepler.
Hello.
He's got blinkies. What's going on?
So if you've been reading the Python on Microcontrollers newsletter, I've been talking about this for a couple of weeks, and it is an LED matrix. We were calling it proto matter. We're just going to call it RGB matrix because of how boring we are. Yeah, so I've got a couple of little videos or a couple of little demos on it. It will work with display I/O, which means that you can adapt those that knowledge that you have about using display I/O directly to this. It updates really fast. In person, it is brilliant and super saturated. And I fiddled with my webcam for a while, trying to get a compromise between being able to.
It looks really good.
We need to give you some of this LED plastic that like it makes it look really good.
Not only does it look good, but you know, it's so speedy. Like this is you're really pushing a lot on this on this matrix.
It's like rainbows.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so hold on here. I was going to switch to my other demo, but there's something going wrong.
This one was pretty cool.
How about that?
Oh, neat. It's a little slot machine with this is great.
Yeah, you don't win anything except knowledge, but
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little bit floored when I saw how fast it went compared to some of the LCDs. It just goes and goes and goes. So we've been having fun with this. It's going to be
in a row.
Yeah,
going to be in a guide soon, and all of you all will get to play with it. And big shout out to Paint Your Dragon. He did the hard part. His code is actually sending the blips to the matrix, but I'm hooking it up to CircuitPython.
Yeah, the protomatter library is the nuclear core that powers this. Philby spent weeks to make a completely platform independent way of driving these RGB matrices. So that one of the things that we do with CircuitPython is we try to have, if it's working on one platform, it'll work on all platforms. So if it works on the NR52, it'll work on the SAM51, it'll work on the FOMU, it'll work on whatever, any new chips, the ESP32 or the TNC4. And so having a totally independent library is so key to that. And it's like, most people don't put that effort into libraries. They're like, I'll just make it work on my one platform and like, later everybody. But to make it work on everything smoothly is a challenge, but y'all teamed up and did a great job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right now it's going to work on the SAMD51 microcontrollers and the NRF52840s, but the amount of code we need for each new microcontroller is actually pretty small. I think it's about 20 to 30 lines.
We got everything you're saying is interesting, I promise you. But I'm actually that's with the slot machine in the background with all of our logos.
That you need to add the CircuitPython. So we will get there with the rest of them, but right now those two core architectures are both working. This is a SAMD51 M4 Feather right now, but I've also been doing it on the NRFs, and both of those work just dandy.
I want to play the slot machine so bad. All right, thank you so much, Emily. This is awesome.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Jeff.
All right, next up, we're going to go to JP. JP, what you got going on this week?
Hey guys, sorry about the hijack there. I was trying to mess with cameras.
No, this is awesome. Look, I'm gonna totally do it to you on your show.
Yeah, on tomorrow on my show.
Yeah, no, this is fine.
So I was working on my Power Glove MIDI BLE synthesizer controller last week, and I've just about finished a guide that I've been writing. It's I think I'll be finishing it tonight. And so what I've got going on briefly in here is I've added a feather sense and a little, what do we call these, like a screw terminal proto board, so that I can connect the wiring from the original Flex sensors. We sell some in our store. There's actually probably the same manufacturer, and there's 4 of them in here on these 3 fingers and the thumb. And then I'm using the accelerometer on the feather sense so that I can then over Bluetooth. So you see, I got no wires on here. There's a LiPo battery.
No wires.
I'm sending BLE MIDI signal to an iPad. And in fact, I'm going to try to share screen and bring up.
You did it before.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I don't know if I can do this.
Yeah, I didn't even do that. You did it. Okay, cool.
I've done it again. So this is a free right now. It's normally like $30, but Moog Music has made this app for iOS, maybe also Android free. It's the Moog Mini Moog. And what I have going on there is, I won't play the sound right now, but if you watch the knobs in the upper right corner, when I move my fingers, I'm changing the values of some of those knobs. And when I tilt, you'll see that volume knob in the upper right is changing. And when I roll, I'm changing a knob sort of in the middle there that turns noise, like a kind of noise up and down. So this tilt is volume. I'm going to start with that.
Yeah, start playing. Play some.
So you can bring in soft E's, or you can... And then I'm going to filter the frequencies with my thumb, kind of give that mute sound. And now I'll use my index finger to add resonance to that. And now I'll add in a second octave above. And a little noise.
All right. This is dope.
There you go. That's
amazing. I love that it's wireless. I mean, I know we want to do this product for a long time, and I love that we finally had the right feather board to demo this kind of project.
Yes, absolutely. These projects have been done, but they've usually been done with about 3 or 4 different daughter boards on a microcontroller.
Wires.
It's all self-contained. That's so cool.
I just have the one board on there. I've gone in, and the guide will show lots of explicit innards pictures, but I've basically got one of our perma protos in here to do a little voltage divider circuit per flex sensor, and then that wiring runs through the original cool looking wiring loom thing there inside, and then through to my feather, which is under here. And I've had a little leather, piece of scrap leather to keep that off of my skin. But it's also mostly intact. I've desoldered some stuff. You could go back to original stock configuration if you had some crazy desire to play some horrible NES games badly, but I don't. So I'm probably going to leave it like this.
Okay, the next thing we have to do the power pad.
Wait, which one's that? I don't know that one.
Running game. They had a running game pad for the Nintendo. Remember that? They came out together. We already did a Robbie project.
Now I'm going to head over to eBay. Great.
I know. All right, Liz is probably excited by this. She loves musical gloves and MIDI. So
yeah, right on. So probably I'll be wrapped up with this and doing some different stuff on my show tomorrow. But please stop by at 4 o'clock Eastern time, 1 o'clock Pacific time to see what we're up to, and then I'll be doing a very special edition of Show and Tell after at 5:30 East Coast time for a half hour. So if people want to come on and show more stuff, if you didn't make it onto this one, come on tomorrow.
Thank you so much, JP. We'll be showing some of your videos and the Make Code Minute and Ask an Engineer at 8 p.m. Bye-bye.
Bye, Cyber JP.
All right, we're going to go to Chris Young next.
Chris Young. Welcome.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I got 2 things to show off for you today. I was actually going to show this one off. I thought maybe the one Pedro would do a show and tell today, but they're tied up and didn't do anything. So you guys get to see it instead. The other day when I was on, I showed a screen grab of a CAD thing I was doing. These are cookie cutters that I made for Easter. And a roommate, Barb, bakes up some batches of cookies using these 3D printed cookie cutters. And anyway, there's the cookies.
Yum.
And here they are decorated.
Oh.
Okay. And then I also 3D printed these little Easter eggs. And I thought I would show you how I did that in Fusion 360. You start out with just a sphere, and then you elongate the sphere, chop the bottom off, and put the rounded part back on to give you your basic egg shape. Then you make this little sketch at the bottom. It's a real thin rectangle. And you extrude that along the vertical axis with a twist in it. And then you click on one of the surfaces of that twist, and it cuts a spiral. You use it as a tool to divide the body, and then you're going to extrude a little pipe along that path. And then you delete the egg, just leaving this little curlicue thing. Then you mirror it to make it double, and then you rotate it and make 3 copies. and then you can add a little base, and you have the option of either having it solid or open like that.
I like the hollow version. It looks
Anyway,
delicate but elegant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, that was the one thing to show. And then the other thing I've been working on, I wanted to talk about. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about using the Freedom Wing to control a mouse. And I initially said that the NRF board could not do HID, and I was wrong. It does HID under the tiny USB stack instead of under the Arduino stack.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the problem is it's a powerful set of tools to do HID. It's actually more powerful than what's available for Arduino, but it's not. The API is completely different.
Mm-hmm.
So I created a library that allows you to use the Arduino mouse and keyboard API, and it translates it into tiny USB HID codes. And I had it all working yesterday and uploaded it to GitHub and started talking to the tiny USB guy about it. And today it all quit working for no reason whatsoever.
Mm.
So I don't know what's going on there, but anyway, being able to use your legacy mouse, Arduino has a mouse.h and keyboard.h that allows you to do mouse and keyboard calls. And you'll be able to do it on tiny USB boards as well. So not only will it work for the NRF, but I'm presuming that the new 32S2 will be using tiny USB.
That's right.
So all your legacy code for HID stuff should be able to work, and it automatically selects between Arduino and tiny USB just by a conditional compiler. So like I said, it was working yesterday. Today, it's not working, and I don't know why. But we'll get it working. It's a work in progress, and I think it's going to be really useful. So I'm pretty proud of that.
All right.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much, Chris. Keep coming back. Good to see you.
Great Easter.
All right.
You having a
Yeah.
good holiday.
All
Okay.
right. Next up, we're going to go over to
Eurofect.
Eurofect. How's it going?
Hello. What's
Right,
up?
can you hear me okay?
Hey.
Yeah.
How's
you
it
got this
going? So this week, let me plug them in. I have got Max. There's this little guy.
Oh, neat.
So Max is running a heavily modified version of the Uncanny Eyes code. So this allows you. So this is I'm kind of dubbing it Expression Engine for now, but basically it's a system that lets you do kind of command different expressions. I had an Uncanny Eyes system that was running in my office in Boston for a while that would track people's faces. It could kind of look at you, but the issue was that it was very expressionless. They're kind of meant for, cosplays or creepy taxidermies and things like that, which aren't really very reactive. And I wanted to make it be able to recognize people and kind of do smiley faces and that kind of stuff. So I kind of got into the guts of the code and put in a bunch of stuff for kind of importing custom shapes and custom images and kind of dictating how they work. And the end goal is to have all of this programmable via, or commandable via a UART line or an SPI line, so that you can kind of rig it up to a Raspberry Pi. And if you've got some cool imaging stuff, you can tell it to do different expressions or look at different places. And if you want to have it look at somebody or look at something or kind of go through a set of animations like I was just doing there, you've got a little bit more freedom to do that with the code. That's one version. Let me get the other one up. So that's based off of a game character, bonus points if you know who it is. But this other one is a little different. Let's see if this works. There we go.
Ooh. That's cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, interesting. It's like a different, it's like uncanny eyes, but it's like just different approach.
Yeah, that's cool.
I like it.
So, a big part of this was just making sure. So this is, an example of an imported image that you've set as a mask.
Yeah.
That then rotates around the pupil. And you could combine this. Basically, this works by just having a bunch of different layers of whatever images and rotated rectangles and circles of any radius. Like, it just kind of gives you a bunch of basic building blocks to put together various images with, and make kind of whatever face or expression you want with them. So you could do feasibly. Next step for me is going to be doing the Iron Giant. I think is one obvious one. Eve from WALL-E, the Pixar movie WALL-E, has a bunch of different interesting expressions. So kind of getting a whole bunch of these different classic cartoon characters imported, and then probably also just making it so that it can do all the regular uncanny eyes stuff. So being able to use all of the same bitmaps and things that are in uncanny eyes.
Back with these eye projects as you evolve them. Keep coming back and showing them on the show and tell.
Yeah, so I'll let you know.
All right,
Thank you.
right on. Okay, we're gonna keep moving.
Gotta speed around.
We're gonna go to
2 or 3
Colin,
minutes.
and we can still get to everybody if everyone keeps it to a couple minutes. Colin, take it away.
Hey, well, what I have to show is kind of small and simple, so perfect. I've been going through the old collection of test equipment gear that I've amassed over the years. And this one, simple, but really kind of fun. I like it. If you can see that. Okay, so this is a Share Tumico dynamometer.
Right.
Which, in other words,
that was my first guess.
Hey, you've been around. Would be a analog force gauge, basically. So really simple. You push on this needle and it shows you the amount of force being applied in grams. Super nice and simple. And it's got the little max needle here so that you can see it highest point it reaches.
Oh, that's nice.
And of course it has reverse functionality as well.
Amazing.
This is good.
Made in France.
It's just a really nice object. It has that, I think there's a name for this, but I forget, that mottled metallic finish.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. A quality piece of equipment, sure to last many years, and as evidenced by reality here, it already has. And of course, the great mantra printed in the middle, it says, "Release gently."
I agree.
We should all.
I think everyone should abide by that, especially nowadays.
All right, thank you, Colin.
Thank you so much, Colin.
Bringing out the cool tools.
Okay, next up, we're gonna go to Matt. Hello, Matt. What you got going on?
Hey guys, I made this about 6 months ago and I never really showed anyone. It's a Raspberry Pi 3, a Pi Juice solar, a Pi Juice battery pack, a Berry IMU GPS, a few Wi-Fi cards, and a Bluetooth card. And it's essentially a wardriving setup that you just plug into your car and it will shut off after the car's turned off and will turn back on when you turn the car on. And there's a button that when you're done driving, you just push the button and it puts all the custom Kismet data into maps.
Oh, nice.
That's
all right.
Cool.
Glad you found the project and you came on Show and Tell. It's never too late to share a project.
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks so much, Matt.
Thanks.
All right. Next up, we're going to go to Liz. Hello, Liz. How you doing?
Hey, Liz.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
So I published the step counter guide this week. So it's a clue.
Couch to the desk.
I'm sorry?
Count the steps from the couch to the desk.
Yes, back and forth about 1,000 times. So count your steps, average steps per hour, and then you can also put in a step goal, and a little bar graph will go across to show you how close you are to your goal. And then it's got a lovely blinka on the screen too. And then today I started playing around a little bit with the MIDI Bluetooth library. I only have the little example code running with a synth on my phone, but
that's cool.
It is working. So that's my first step into playing around with that.
Like the intro to Airwolf.
I know, right? Yeah.
Go get yourself a helicopter.
I know.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Liz. Always bringing the beats.
Very cool.
Yes.
Okay, next up, we're going to go to Drew. Hello, Drew. How are you?
Hello. So I was playing around with flexible PCBs, and this is my latest one here. And the cool thing here was the idea of having a cutout. So let me show you the board. So to make it easier to bend, it actually has a cutout there so that it does a string relief. It also kind of has like this cool sort of effect where you can see the Open Hardware logo and it stays flat there. And then it's easier to bend around the coin cell. So this is meant to show if a coin cell battery has enough charge to turn an LED. So that's kind of the latest adventures in flexible PCBs.
I feel you're learning so much.
Yeah,
I'm learning. I'm learning along with you.
I have a collection of circuit boards and things that use the Open Hardware logo.
Yeah.
And I've done a blog post. So if you send me a photo, next time I do a posting of all the, because there was a badge, there was another thing. I like things that are in the shape of the Open Hardware logo. And one thing, I'll do a hug report. So a while ago, Drew said, hey, like, you know, I see Adafruit has a certification on the Open Hardware OSHA certification.
Yeah.
Are you going to do more? I'm like, oh, you know, it's
We'll
just,
get to it.
we'll get to it. It's a very manual process. There's not an API yet. They're working on one. And then since this all happened, we've been submitting them. Right now we have 42. We'll probably have 100 certifications by next week. So we're doing it. So thank you so much, Drew, and everyone at OSHA who's looking at our pile of certifications.
Yes, it's been very exciting to see all the new certifications.
That's right. All right, thank you so much, Drew.
Awesome.
Okay, next up, we have 2 people. If you can keep it to 2 minutes each, we can get to both of you. Let's go to Boop Game, and then we're going to wrap up with Adam. Take it away, Boop Game.
Hey, Boop Game.
You hear me?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, thank you. Welcome. So first, my shirt.
Yeah.
No microcontroller.
Yeah.
Two resistors and PNP transistors. Conductive fabric here. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Nice.
All right.
Wearable LEDs sewed with conductive fabrics. No microcontroller.
Good work.
Okay. Another thing. A ring.
Yeah.
With air feed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The phone.
All right.
I put on the phone.
Magic show. Okay.
Yeah. RFID ring.
Run application. I bought on Adafruit air feed programmable.
Yeah.
Okay. And a surprise, I make a video this weekend. I show you my collector.
Oh, look at this.
It's a nice old computer.
My Apple IIc.
That's a nice Apple IIc.
It's a nice,
with the monitor and everything.
Yes. With the game I programmed when I was 14.
Wow.
Okay. In assembler 6502.
Yeah.
It's like an heirloom computer and an heirloom game you made.
You're going to pass it down to your kids.
All right. Well, thank you so much,
okay.
Boop.
Voilà.
All right. Thank
you.
All right.
Stay safe.
All right, Adam, keep it to a couple minutes and play us out.
Hey there.
Make something really small look big. Yep.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm trying very hard to make something very small look big. And I got a cool new toy to do that with, which is this box right here. So this is a digital scan interface, which is what lets me take the images off the screen of the microscope, or physically out of the column of the microscope, and get them on my computer. An SEM, you don't just take an image, you're scanning the beam across it. So the way this works is it has 2 14-bit DACs in it. It tells the SEM where to put the beam, and then it uses a 14-bit ADC to record the brightness of the image at that point. So I'm going to share screens real quick. I'm going to press the share button.
There we
go. There we go. So this is the software. Now if I plug in this cable here, we should get an image kind of on screen. There is a slight challenge right now relating to the microscope deciding to not function properly in terms of stage grounding anymore. It literally just happened while I was talking to you. But the software allows me to very quickly acquire images. And
oh, yeah, there you go.
Here is an image I saved about 30 seconds or about 10 minutes ago or so when it was working perfectly. So this is the same chip as last night, but what makes this thing cool is because it's a 14-bit ADC, I can do 16,000, or I can do 16K images. And I'm also, running this on a Windows 10 computer. My old system could do up to 4K images, ran on Windows XP. And if you told it to do a scan, you could not stop the scan unless you wanted to restart the entire computer. So if you accidentally typed in a 20-minute scan, you were stuck there for 20 minutes unless you wanted to restart XP. If you restarted XP, you lost all of your work. So I was hoping to show something interesting live underneath it with the software, but you can see the image is completely washed out. And I think that's because the beam current doesn't have anywhere to go once it hits the stage. And so that indicates a grounding issue on the stage.
All right, well, next week, come by. I like the screenshot you took 30 seconds ago. It looked great.
Yeah, right. It was really close to being. Yeah, look, I can live on my laptop, but that close to getting it. So I'll be able to save really high quality images off the microscope now, and start publishing some of those. So yeah,
get them on Instagram because
gotta get on the ground.
We follow a bunch of folks on Instagram, and the travel, the influencer Instagrams are kind of over. So I'm looking forward to microscope.
Influencers.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Adam.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right.
All
Less
right.
hot dog legs, more microcontrollers.
That's the show and tell this week. We're here every single week. We're going to continue to do the 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. show and tell until further notice. Thank you, everyone, for showing interior projects. Don't forget, tomorrow, JP has a show and tell. Don't forget, there's show and tells with Noah and Pedro, and we have lots of video programming every single week, hours and hours and hours. If you're making something, you have something to look forward to, because the best part about making something is sharing it. So we'll see everybody next week. Thanks for being part of the show and tell. Ask an Engineer starts in 5 minutes.
Thanks, everybody.